Look at you now, standing there with that quiet fire in your eyes. You didn't beg for vindication, didn't plead for fairness, didn't wait for anyone to save you. You became your own rescue, your own revolution, your own reckoning. And yeah, I see that look on your face, that calm intensity that makes people shift uncomfortably without understanding why. You feel it too, don't you? That change in the atmosphere, that energy that clings to you like electricity before a storm. That's not random chance. That's not some lucky break. That's the universe responding. And she's been moving mountains ever since you stopped shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Let me tell you what's actually unfolding right now, what they'll never confess, but what haunts them in the dead silence of 4s in the morning. The universe didn't just acknowledge your pain. She became obsessed with the way you walk through fire without letting it consume who you truly are. She witnessed you being discarded, manipulated, exploited, disrespected, and still you honored yourself. You chose quiet strength over loud retaliation. You chose separation over spectacle. You chose serenity over being right. And that made you magnetic to forces they can't even comprehend. Because most people, when they're wounded, they become their trauma. They attack, they self-destruct, they shatter, they mirror exactly what destroyed them. But you absorbed the poison and built antibodies. You didn't just endure what they inflicted. You dissected it, extracted wisdom from it, and transcended every single soul who assumed your destruction would be simple. Now here's where everything shifts. The universe doesn't operate like people assume. She doesn't arrive with fanfare and spectacle, dramatic confessions and public reckonings. No, the universe is a strategist, and she takes her time crafting the perfect web of repercussions. She's been observing the ones who damaged you, the ones who embraced you with daggers hidden behind their backs, the ones who mistook your compassion for fragility and your silence for surrender. They believed they escaped unscathed, didn't they? They continued forward, found fresh victims to exploit, new spirits to hollow out, kept existing like the universe wasn't documenting everything. But here's the truth about cosmic justice. When she becomes devoted to you, she doesn't just restore equilibrium. She obliterates it in your favor. She doesn't just mirror what they delivered. She multiplies it exponentially. She transforms into your private enforcer, your invisible guardian, your silent assassin. And right now, while you're reading this, she's out there maneuvering. Not dramatically, not obviously, but with precision, with intention. She's unraveling their comfort thread by thread, exactly how they attempted to unravel yours. Every manufactured smile they offered you, she's erasing authentic joy from their existence. Every fabrication they spread about you, she's revealing secrets they desperately concealed. Every instance they diminished you, she's contracting their reality until it crushes them slowly. You don't witness it yet because you're not looking backward anymore. You stopped monitoring their social media, stopped interrogating mutual contacts about them, stopped caring whether you even crossed their mind. And that's precisely when the universe does her most devastating work, when you're so immersed in constructing your transformation that you don't even register the collapse happening in their world. But believe me, it's happening. That person who vanished without reason, they're being tormented by every connection they severed, every soul they abandoned, and now nobody remains. That friend who sacrificed your confidence for approval, watch how rapidly that inner circle implodes, how swiftly those opportunistic relationships evaporate when there's nothing left to extract. That lover who selected someone else, who convinced you that you were inadequate. They're discovering the distinction between imitation and authenticity. And it's a revelation that's going to cost them everything they convinced themselves they desired. The universe doesn't just penalize, she instructs. She demonstrates the gravity of actions by forcing people to shoulder consequences they never anticipated. And the ones who wounded you, they're about to receive an education, because here's what they failed to grasp. When you departed, when you prioritized yourself, when you stopped battling for people who weren't battling for you, you didn't just exit. You initiated something irreversible. You catalyzed a universal correction. You became sacred, and anyone who violated you before that transformation is now marked, monitored, tracked in the universe. She's extracting payment. Let me show you what's occurring right now in their reality. They're searching. Oh, they're consuming your content, your images, attempting to decipher this evolved version of you that exists independently of them. They observe you flourishing, radiating, celebrating with faces they don't know, experiencing a reality they're excluded from. And something within them fractures, not explosively, silently, like a hairline crack in porcelain that expands gradually until everything disintegrates. They're beginning to recognize patterns, how nothing resonates the same after losing you, how every connection following you feels hollow, superficial, like a substitute that can't occupy the void, how achievements taste empty, how external approval doesn't satisfy anymore. They're understanding slowly, agonizingly, that they didn't just lose you. They lost the most genuine version of themselves that only emerged in your presence because you extracted something authentic from them, something irreplaceable, something they'll spend lifetimes trying to rediscover in all the wrong souls. And the universe, she's ensuring they never recover it. She's guaranteeing every opportunity they pursue remains closed. Every connection they attempt pulls away. Every heart they try to access is already guarded. Not by someone superior, by the realization that certain people, certain souls, certain energies you only encounter once, and they destroy theirs completely, permanently, irreversibly. But here's the element that makes this genuinely exquisite. You're not even considering them anymore. You're not anticipating apologies that will never materialize. You're not hoping they comprehend what they sacrificed. You've ascended so far beyond that dimension that vengeance doesn't even register in your consciousness. You're not resentful. You're not cynical. You're not scheming. You're just existing boldly, freely, authentically. And that's the most catastrophic revenge the universe could ever orchestrate on your behalf, because they're trapped observing you flourish without them. They're condemned to witness your fulfillment from the margins, knowing they could have participated, but chose to become a cautionary tale instead. And cautionary tales, they don't receive redemption arcs. They get absorbed and abandoned. You transformed into the exception. Not because you manipulated, not because you were flawless, but because you were authentic in a reality constructed on pretense, devoted in an age of disappearing acts, and sincere in a culture of performance. And now everyone who enters their life after you is being evaluated against you, calibrated against you, and failing spectacularly because you established a benchmark they didn't even recognize existed until it vanished. The universe ensured that. She didn't just shield you, she immortalized you. She converted your absence into a presence that dominates every space you're not occupying. Your name became a burden they shoulder. Your memory became a standard they can't achieve. Your peace became the sensation they'll never experience again because they exchanged it for fleeting gratification, superficial validation, and fantasies that collapsed the moment you walked away. Now let's go deeper. Let's discuss what the universe is executing that you can't perceive. The invisible warfare being conducted in dimensions you don't even acknowledge anymore. Every person who violated you, they're encountering something inexplicable, a friction, a density. Things that used to flow effortlessly are now impossibly complicated. Opportunities that should manifest are evaporating before their eyes. Relationships that should function are disintegrating without explanation. They can't comprehend it. They keep questioning themselves. What shifted? What's altered? Why existence suddenly feels insurmountable? But you know what shifted? You. You stopped being their foundation. You stopped being their equilibrium. You stopped being the positive force they consumed while reciprocating nothing but toxicity. And now they're navigating the world exposed, unbalanced, experiencing the full magnitude of their karma without you there to cushion the impact. Because here's the secret they never revealed. Some people needed you infinitely more than you ever needed them. They just manipulated you into believing otherwise. They convinced you that you were fortunate to have them, when the entire time you were the miracle they didn't deserve. And the universe, she's making absolutely certain they understand that now, through deprivation, through void, through the undeniable, inescapable, suffocating recognition that existence after you is just them and their consequences with no shield. You ever notice how silent everything became after you left? How tranquil your life transformed once you extracted yourself from their turbulence? That's not coincidence. That's verification. Verification that you were never the dysfunction. You were the remedy surrounded by problems that refused resolution. You were the illumination in a space filled with people who preferred obscurity because it concealed their defects. You were the reflection that revealed them authentically. And instead of transforming, they attempted to destroy the reflection. But reflections don't destroy, they fragment, and every fragment reflects reality even more intensely. That's what you became. Indestructible fragments of truth embedded across their awareness, impossible to dismiss, impossible to erase, impossible to evade. They recognize you in strangers. They detect you in melodies. They sense you in moments they assumed they'd transcended. You became the specter that haunts them while you're out here completely alive, completely present, completely liberated. And that's the universe's signature execution, transforming you into the phenomenon they can't possess, can't access, can't duplicate, while simultaneously ensuring they recall exactly what they sacrificed every single day for eternity. No escape, no reprieve, no resolution. Just the permanent burden of knowing they possessed something irreplaceable and discarded it for nothing. For less than nothing, for illusions that disintegrated the moment you stopped validating them. Let's discuss the ones observing from the periphery right now. Yeah, you know who they are. The silent observers, the digital stalkers, the ones who monitor you without ever engaging. They're not just intrigued, they're consumed with how you're thriving independently, consumed with who superseded them, consumed with whether you ever contemplate them anymore. And here's the beautiful, devastating truth. You don't. You genuinely, completely, entirely don't. And that is annihilating them in ways they'll never acknowledge publicly because they constructed their entire narrative around being irreplaceable, around being the loss you'd never overcome, around being the wound that never heals. But you healed entirely. And not just healed, you evolved. You discovered superior. You became superior. You magnetized superior. And now they're trapped, witnessing the elevated version of you that exists because they're absent from the equation anymore. The universe didn't need to punish them overtly. She just needed to guarantee they had an unobstructed view of your triumph, your joy, your tranquility. That's punishment sufficient. Observing someone you undervalued become everything you declared they'd never be. Observing someone you discarded become someone everyone desires. Observing someone you wounded become someone who doesn't suffer anymore. That's cosmic justice. Not loud, not aggressive, just undeniable, unavoidable, eternal. And here's where it becomes even more poetic. The universe is now delivering them people identical to them. Deceivers encountering deceivers. Exploiters encountering exploiters. Betrayers encountering betrayers. They're experiencing everything they subjected you to, but from the receiving position. And it's karmic perfection. They're being abandoned by people they assumed cared. They're being substituted by people they assumed were faithful. They're being deceived by people they trusted. They're consuming their own creation, and it's acrid, poisonous, intolerable. And the worst element for them, they can't even protest. Because deep down, in the silent moments they can't escape, they know they earned this. They know the universe is just reflecting what they reflected to you. And unlike you, they don't possess the fortitude to transform it. They don't possess the character to transcend it. They don't possess the spirit to convert poison into power. So they're suffocating in it slowly, perpetually. Meanwhile, you're too occupied constructing empires they'll never access. Too occupied loving people who actually reciprocate it. Too occupied living the existence they said you'd never achieve without them. And that's the authentic triumph. Not that they're suffering, but that you're not. Not anymore, never again. Now let me tell you what the universe is doing for you right now. In this moment, while she's out there collecting debts on your behalf, she's unlocking pathways. Not just any pathways, but the ones that were destined for you always. The opportunities you couldn't recognize when you were distracted by people who didn't merit your focus. The connections you couldn't forge when your energy was depleted by relationships that only extracted. The peace you couldn't access when you were surrounded by chaos masquerading as connection. All of that is flooding into your existence now. Not because you demanded it, because you created capacity for it. You eliminated the obstruction. You removed the burden. You stopped nourishing dead roots, hoping they'd blossom. And now your garden is exploding. Your life is accelerating. Your energy is intoxicating. And it's attracting everything and everyone that's aligned. The universe didn't just eliminate the wrong people. She substituted them with the right ones. She didn't just conclude toxic chapters. She initiated miraculous ones. She didn't just mend your wounds. She gave you wings. And now you're soaring so elevated that the people who tried to cage you can't even perceive you anymore. You're beyond reach, beyond their capacity, beyond their dimension. You exist on a frequency they'll never access again. But here's what I need you to comprehend. This isn't fortune. This isn't randomness. This isn't coincidence. This is consequence. The consequence of selecting yourself when everyone anticipated you to select them. The consequence of departing when everyone anticipated you to remain and endure. The consequence of healing when everyone anticipated you to fracture. You activated the universe not through retaliation, not through resentment, not through maintaining grievances. You activated her through evolution, through metamorphosis, through becoming someone so synchronized with your truth that the universe had no alternative but to synchronize with you. And now she's out here operating like your personal protection, defending your peace, securing your energy, neutralizing threats before they even approach. She's not just responding to what occurred, she's preventing what could occur. She's constructing a barrier around you that only permits entry to what serves you and everything that doesn't. Rejected, removed, returned with interest, with lessons, with permanent consequences they'll never forget. That's what happens when the universe falls in love with you. She doesn't just defend you, she wages war on anything that threatens you silently, efficiently, permanently. So here's what I need you to do right now. Stop anticipating apologies. Stop verifying if they're okay. Stop questioning if cosmic justice is real. She is, and she's been operating. You just weren't observing because you were too occupied becoming the version of yourself that doesn't need validation from people who couldn't recognize your value. Let them wonder about you. Let them search. Let them regret. Let them realize too late that's not your concern anymore. Your concern is building, creating, evolving, becoming so undeniable that even the universe herself takes notes. You're not the person they wounded anymore. You're the person they can't wound. You're not the story of what they inflicted on you. You're the legend of what you achieved after. You didn't just survive. You thrived so magnificently that the universe itself transformed your name into an anthem, into a standard, into a warning. And everyone who comes after them will know. They'll know there are certain souls you don't violate, certain energies you don't disrespect. Some people the universe protects so ferociously that harming them is like signing your own karmic contract. And right now, everyone who ever wounded you is paying not because you cursed them, because you blessed yourself. And the universe, she's just ensuring the bill arrives in full with interest that never stops accumulating. This is your moment. This is your confirmation. This is the universe whispering in your consciousness that everything you endured wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You weren't being broken. You were being forged into something they can't comprehend, into someone they can't reach, into a force they can't stop. So walk forward, head elevated, heart unburdened, knowing that the universe isn't just on your side. She's in love with you. And when the universe falls in love, she doesn't just protect, she dominates. She doesn't just defend, she destroys anything that threatens what she loves. And right now, what she loves is you, the real you, the you that refused to become what they attempted to make you, the you that selected peace over chaos, the you that walked away from everything familiar to discover everything authentic. That you is the universe's favorite. And believe me, being the universe's favorite means you're untouchable, unstoppable, unforgettable, and everyone who ever doubted that is about to learn the hardest lesson existence can teach. Some people you only wound once because the universe makes sure you never get close enough to wound them again. Welcome to protection. Welcome to elevation. Welcome to the frequency where the universe doesn't just collect debts for your peace. She builds empires in your name.